Have you ever thought about learning a new instrument like a cello?
Yeah, no. I know. Oh, no. I get too frustrated. You see, I've been playing since I was 2.5, and I'm a spoiled brat in that way because, I can just play without looking, and it's part of my language. So the idea of having to sit there and figure out what's going on. I tried to learn the guitar once. I got so pissed off. I just took that fucker and smashed it against the wall. It was a crap guitar anyway, so, but no.
So you said you love touring in Germany. I heard it in Hamburg. And what do you think makes the German audience so special?
I think that you all have a real mental capacity. Your analytical side is one of your great strengths. There's also a great tradition that you have with theater. And you've had some pretty intense German writers over the last 200 years, musical as well as narrative. And so the idea of story, the idea of pathos, the idea of a subtext within a story, it's really great to play to an audience whose capacity is there for an involved show instead of people who just want to be entertained.
So, do you have a favorite German city except Munich?
Well, I think that Berlin seduces me, partly because of its history, because it's, for so long, I had wanted to come there when I couldn't. And yet the thing about Munich is that it's so warming when you come here. It's welcoming. And that's something that you don't always find in a city. Sometimes cities can be pretty intimidating. But when you're here, you don't feel that. You do feel as if people want you to just be here and that it's homey. Yes, it's very chic, but it's relaxed. And I love the casualness of that. You don't find that everywhere. Whereas Berlin, of course, there's a darkness to it. There's a New York City.
You show us 5 different female dolls. Which character do you love or identify most? Are you able to choose one, or are they all equal?
Honestly, it's changing every day. I'm learning things about me as I allow them to take over my body. When they do, it's not a little shift. Not normally when it's in live performance. When it's backstage and I'm just getting into character, then sometimes there are little details and nuances. But as I take stage, I can really feel the differences. And there are things that they do that I would just never, ever do. And there are things that they wouldn't entertain doing that I am about ready to do in 20 minutes after they leave stage. So, yeah, it's fascinating to watch different facets of the feminine come into your body, use it as a piece of sculpture, and yet it's part of you and yet it's not. And that's the wonderful paradox about it.
And my favorite question, because I wonder, why isn't there a male posse member? Or do you restrict this way of life, having different images, only to women?
Well, I don't have the equipment to hold a male. I could have done a drag king kind of thing, but I've decided not to do that. However, I am pretty in touch with my animus, my male parts. That's always been easier for me to be open to the different sides of my male than my female. Maybe because as women, we choose our image and we can get really locked in to what our families want us to be, our friends. Sometimes it's our friends that are the harshest with us. If we begin to want to change, they threaten rejection, saying, "You're not who I knew. You're not my friend." Being like that. If you're going to be that way, then I don't want to have anything to do with you because, and you just say, "Whoa." But who they want me to be isn't where I'm growing or what I'm changing. You know, we cut parts of ourselves off in order to fit in, and it's really damaging.
Can you tell me what is coming up next? Because I've heard you writing a musical.
Well, I think that I've been all of my life wanting to write a musical, and it's a huge challenge, as you know. It's so easy to write a crap one. I know that. I know people must be thinking, "Oh God, Tori, you could get this one so wrong." I know. But at the same time, my mother wants me to do it. And and for my daughter as well. There's something driving me to do it. Now it has to be the right one. So I'm looking at working with a specific playwright, and I'll keep you posted.
So I have a last question. What do you do to prepare yourself for your shows?
I do all kinds of things. I work a lot with myth, as you know, because that is, I'm not hiding it from all those other creators out there. There is incredible resource and power in myth. It's our vocabulary as creative forces. So I'm opening my toolbox to show the next generation. I'm not hiding my secrets. I go to male as well, the mythic characters, and I set my chakra system with them. And that is how I align with an essence that's not just the Tori I wake up with. That's how we expand as consciousness. We're not just a three-dimensional being all the time. You can tap into so many facets of your soul. But how do you do that? Well, we all have these structural potential myths in us. It's a part of our emotional DNA. But how do you tap into it? Well, you read about them and then you see it as a mirror reflected in you. And you find that within your being. Now it will look different in you, in this other woman here, than it will in me. But we all have Zeus in us. We all have Athena in us. How it plays out is different. But these are it's sort of like the roots to the chords. They're the keys. They're our emotional keys.
Okay, Tori, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to see your show tonight. Thank you.